Hi everyone, I'm Beth with Bodies by Pilates, and today I'm going to take you through a chair Pilates class. So this class is appropriate for everyone, but especially maybe those that are getting a little more senior and finding they're having a little bit of trouble with their balance, or maybe just doing those everyday average tasks of getting up and out of a chair. Maybe it's just taking a little bit more effort. And so today we're going to be working on that, strengthening some of the muscles that'll help us do that. So for today's class, all you need is your chair. And we're just going to come around to the front of the chair. Now, what I want you to do is just make sure that if your chair is on rollers, maybe you're up against a wall. Otherwise, just come in front of your chair. Make sure that the chair is nice and steady there. And then just take a little glance, make sure it's there. I want you to push your hips backwards. So you're going to fold over right here at the crease of where that thigh kind of meets your pelvis. I want you to push the hips behind you, sit down nice and controlled, and then just upright the spine right over top of those sits bones or the bony parts of your butt. Feet are going to be firmly on the ground for this class. And I want you just to sit up nice and tall. So find that height. I even found some right there. You saw I was kind of slouching a little bit. So we want to pull up from our core, pull the shoulders down, opening up the chest nice and wide here. And then you can just lay those hands right on your thighs. We're just going to lower our chin to our chest. So while you're on the bony parts of your butt, chin is going to chest. I want you to think about engaging the core, then go ahead and just look center. So you'll do that one more time by pulling your belly button back. So if you feel your belly kind of just protruding forward, I want you to sort of pull that belly button back towards your spine and then go ahead and look center. So we're just warming up the head and the neck right now. I want you to look over to your right. I love starting classes this way. Keep that chin down and then just make sure your opposite shoulder has not come forward. So you want to keep it nice and level, and then over to the other side, because it really gets everything sort of awake and moving. This is great to do in the morning. One more time over to that other side. So if you wake up and maybe you slept wrong, this is a great way to get started. And then one more time over to that other side. And then come back to center. We're just going to lower that right ear to right shoulder. So when we do that, we don't lift up our left shoulder, we keep it down. And so we can get a little stuffy in the morning too. And this also, bring that head through center over to the other side, gets things kind of loose and moving. So any congestion that you might have, this is a great way to get started. One more time. So just give yourself a few seconds in the stretch so it can really kind of relax and you can find that range. And then one more time through center over to that other side. Good. I like to work all the way down. So we're going to start next with those shoulders. So go ahead and just roll one shoulder back at a time. Just feeling it come up and then rotate back and then down. And then maybe start to get a little movement in it. So maybe follow the shoulder. So you get a little rotation through that spine. You'll feel it through your waist. Good. One more time on the right. And one more time on the left. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and just really swivel, looking over that right shoulder. Remember, try not to relax. Sit up nice and tall, always working on our back extensors over to the other side, which are those posture muscles. And then one more time. And last time over to the other side. Good, we're gonna come right back to center. So that was our rotation. Now let's just do a little side flexion. So having the hands just by the sides of the chair, keeping your opposite hip really kind of drilled into the chair. I want you to just side bend over. So you don't want to necessarily kind of lean over. You want to keep that hip grounded. We're finding the contraction right here in the waist and then up through center over to the other side. These are really easy exercises to do that pretty much everyone can do. Obviously, if you ever feel any pain, if it's a good pain, I say, like you feel a good stretch, then it's safe to do. But if you're really feeling pain, like ouch pain, you don't want to do it. You always want to ask your doctor. All right, come back up to center. We're just gonna move right down to those hip flexors. So we're just really gonna lean forward and back. Now, when we lean forward, let me just turn sideways here. I don't want you just to lean forward and back. I want you to lift up, hinge right here at that crease, and then come right back up, okay? Hinge forward and back. And let's go a little past our midpoint. So maybe the backs of the shoulder blades will touch the back of your chair if you have a back to it, and then forward. Well, hopefully you have a back to it because that's our balance part. Forward and back. So you feel the abs kind of engaged as you go past that midpoint. One more time, forward and back. Good, and then just come right back upright on those sits bones. Next up, we're gonna do some seated marching. So I'll turn back to the front and we're just taking one leg at a time. Okay. So this is strengthening those hip flexors. So a lot of times we always just assume that our hip flexors are weak, hip flexors are tight, but a lot of times they're actually weak. So this is a great way to strengthen those hip flexors. Now, your hip flexors really may be tight, and we'll do an exercise for that in a minute once we start standing. We're gonna hold that right leg up. I want you to extend it. So really extend. You'll feel that thigh muscle or your quad turn on, and then bend it back in. Don't set it down though, just let it sort of float. Take it out, bring it in, out and in. Hold this one out. Let's rotate that ankle. Move it around. Good. Find that full range and then reverse those circles. And then just check back in. Did you start to collapse? Pull yourself up. Go ahead and set that foot down. Let's lift that left foot. Take it out. Bring it in. Take it out. And in. Very nice. Out. In. Go ahead. Hold this one out. Rotate that foot around. And then in that other direction. Now you can always do all of these longer if you need to. Go ahead, set that foot right back down. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to stand up. We've sort of worked our way down our body. So we've got some blood flow moving. Let's work on that standing up. So similar to how we were working those hip flexors, we're really gonna hinge forward right at the crease. So you want your nose sort of over your toes, like you're looking over a cliff. Many ways you can do this. If you're working on this exercise, then hold on to your chair. Give yourself a little assistance as you lift the hips and then drive yourself up. Let's go ahead and sit down. So always check to make sure your chair is still there. Push the hips back. Remember, we're folding over. I'm going to do it from the side just so you can see. You're going to push the hips back and then slowly start to bend the legs, slow and controlled. Bring yourself down. Beautiful. So another way we can do this is we can use our thighs. So we could use the chair, use our thighs, nose over toes. Go ahead and start to engage the glutes, the hips, the hamstrings, and then stand it right up. So we always want to get the shoulders over the hips because if we're kind of forward, we're going to fall forward. So we want to make sure that we're in this nice line. All right, let's sit back down. One more way we can do this. If you're still just using the chair, just use the chair. So we make sure our chair is there. We push the hips back. We start to bend the legs, slow and controlled. Use those thighs. You're going to come all the way down, shoulders over hips. We can fold our arms. So not using anything here, but using the lower body to help us get up. We cross the arms in front. We hinge forward, nose over toes. We go ahead and engage the glutes, the hamstrings. We slowly stand it up and we get those shoulders right over those hips. Really nice. So 3 different ways you can do that. Again, wherever you're at today is how you're going to do it. But we just did 3 sits to stand, which is great, really working those lower legs. Okay. So we're going to come to the back of our chair. This is where our chair is going to work as our balance. And we're just going to continue to sort of warm up those legs. And so you can always challenge yourself by just keeping one hand on the chair or no hands and just having it there in case you need to, or both hands, but just with a light little grip. Feet are gonna be parallel and about as wide as our hips here. Shoulders are gonna be over your hips, and we're just going to come up on those toes. So when we come up on the toes, we're only gonna come up to the height where the heels stay right over the toes. So if you feel yourself sort of supinating out or pronating in, I want you to just go down a little lower. So this is great work for many reasons. So let's go ahead and do this while I explain why this is such a great exercise. So one, obviously balance. You can take one hand down, you can take both hands down when you want to challenge yourself. But if you're working on that balance, just hang on to it with a light little grip, maybe a couple of fingers. You're gonna start feeling some heat in the calves, which is wonderful. So we've got that blood flow, we're strengthening our calves. Also, we're working on flexion in the toes. Another great thing to do as we age, because we start to walk maybe a little more flat-footed. We shuffle a little bit more. We're afraid that we might fall, understandably so. You know, depending on where you live, you might have icy conditions, rain, all sorts of things, and it's scary. We don't want to fall and break something. But we then start to lose some of the ability to come up on those toes, which helps us in many ways. If we have to bend down to get something, we have to reach up to get something. So this is a great exercise. Good, we're just gonna do 3 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna step our left foot forward. You're gonna step your right foot back. So what I want you to do is bend into the left knee and then set the right foot down. So it looks like, I just want to make sure I do it facing you. I want you to know that my toes are facing forward. So we do have a tendency to sort of laterally rotate our feet. I want you to just keep the toes pointed forward. You're going to feel a much better stretch in that back leg. As you can see, my feet are not lined up as if I'm on a balance beam. They are staggered. So I want your feet to be staggered and just feel that beautiful stretch. Keep the chest lifted. So even though we're working our lower body, we want to make sure that our chest is lifted, shoulders are pulled back. Go ahead and stand it up. And then one more time. I always say that holding a stretch for about 10 seconds is really the ideal amount of time. And then you can do as many of these as you need to. We're gonna step that right foot forward, step the left foot back. Same thing, my feet are pointed forward. I know it's sort of hard to see from this angle. You're gonna lunge into the right leg now, and then just let that left heel go down. So the more that the toes are pointed directly forward, the greater the stretch is gonna be. And then bring it up, we're gonna do it one more time. And take it down. Excellent. And then just step it forward. So when we were seated, we did some seated marching, and I talked about sometimes our hip flexors are weak and not necessarily tight. However, we're going to do a stretch for our hip flexors here. And so this one might be a little difficult to do. You can always do this with maybe a towel around your leg, but we want to stretch the muscle right going down the thigh up to the hip flexor. So we're just going to take that leg, and then we're going to tuck our hips under and pull this leg back, shoulders, so that you can feel the stretch. So if it's up here, you're most likely not going to feel the stretch. You need to bring that knee back, but at the same time, you don't lean over. You sort of tuck the hips forward and keep the chest open. So I feel a wonderful stretch here. Another way to do this, in case that is very difficult to be able to catch that leg like that, you can always bring your knee onto your chair, and you can do it this way. And then I always just like to lean back so I can tuck that hip under. This is another great way to do this. All right, we're gonna just do that other side. So holding onto the chair, we're just gonna reach back, grab that foot, tuck those hips under, and then pull that knee back. Amazing stretch. I do have tight hip flexors, and my quads are very tight as well. So you do a lot of walking This might feel very tight. Excellent. And then we're just gonna go ahead and set that foot down. Wonderful. All right, so next up, what we're gonna do is just do a little standing cat-cow here. Hands are gonna go over the front of your chair. Your shoulders are pulled back, but now what I want you to do is just sort of pull the belly button back and actually sort of round forward. So you're scooping the belly in, you're rounding forward. And then I want you to walk the hands up, pull the shoulders back, and come straight up. This is your extension. So go ahead, round forward, pulling the belly button back. Feel that sort of widening of the back, and then walk those hands back and open up the chest. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna come back to the front of our chair. We're gonna take another seat, and we're gonna do a little hip opener with our figure four stretch. Okay, so we'll come to the front of that chair. Just bring it back just a little bit, making sure it's there. Start to push the hips back, bend in the knees, and slow and controlled, come on down. So we want to work those thighs as much as possible. All right, so we're going to do our figure four stretch. Now, depending on how tight our hips are or how mobile they are, this might be a little tough. So you can always take one leg out and start with a cross at this level. Totally fine. And as it gets able to open even more, you can bring it up even more. Then you can start to bend that leg, the bottom leg, so that the knee actually gets to open up. This is your figure four stretch. So we're opening up the hips. We're trying to get this leg right here parallel to the ground. And then if it feels good, a lot of people will kind of round over. I'm going to show it to you from the side. You're in your figure four. I want you to hinge forward. Oh, it's a beautiful glute opener here. Just go ahead and hinge forward. Wherever is comfortable for you. And again, we hold it for about 10 seconds. And then come on up. We're gonna do that with the other leg. All right, so again, if this is where you're at today, fine. It's opening up to the point that you're able to do. If you're able to bring it all the way up, better yet. So everyone's different. As you can see, my leg is not parallel on this side. This side's tighter than my other side, but I am working on it every day. So I just give it a little gentle assistance. I'm not forcing it. I'm not feeling any pain. I'm feeling a lovely stretch here. Just open up. And then if it feels good, you're gonna hinge forward. This is really all I need to go, about 2 inches forward, and I feel this amazing glute stretch. So go ahead and just hinge forward, hold it. Remember never to hold your breath, always breathe. It's so good. And then come back up and uncross those legs. Beautiful. We're gonna take a few last stretches here. So this is a very gentle flow today. Let's go ahead and take our arms out to the side. I want you to bring that right arm across and then use your left arm, another like figure four stretch, and just sort of bring it closer to the chest. So you're gonna feel a little bit of this shoulder stretch right here. Just bring it in. Feels very good. Again, we would like to hold it for about 10 seconds. Then go ahead and open out. Take a big inhale here. Bring the left arm across, grab it with the right, bring it close. Very nice, holding it. And then go ahead, open it out. Beautiful. Take that big inhale and exhale. Take the arms up on the inhale. And then I want you to cactus them out. So when we cactus them out, I want you to think about the arms, the hands right over. So a lot of times we want to do it this way. I want you to think about bringing the hands over the elbows. Do you feel how that opens up the shoulders? Feels so good. Tuck the chin back so that we're not sort of hinging it forward. And then I also found myself sort of pushing my belly forward, so round back onto those sit bones. See, so many things to remember, and keep those shoulders nice and open. All right, we're gonna reach up on that inhale. And then exhale, blow it all out. That was a great little gentle flow. Again, obviously I did a lot of talking through that, but you can run through those exercises every day on your own, and you'll feel yourself just start to gain a little bit more range of motion, and it just gets everything sort of turned on for the day. Everything's sort of moving. It's wonderful. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please give it a thumbs up and check out the other videos on my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you back here real soon.